workshop, this is the first course. Actually, when you come to the database, this is the first course from the basic we are starting. So like we'll start with the basics like introduction, then all the DDL, DML, all those statements and all. So how you are working with your select statements, how you are restricting and sorting your data, we are going to work with that, and how you work with the single row functions, like the different functions, even pre-built functions are there. So how we are using that too specifically for the single row functions. So those things. Then conversions, conditionals, if we want to apply in your SQL. Why? Because we are doing this, we know the database. It is in a table column structure. So how we are going to get your data? So by just applying the filters, like giving the conditions, giving the expressions. So how we wanted the data to be presented as an output. So for that only, like we wanted this particular records. For example, like in a college, we have multiple batches being passed out. Like even in a single year, multiple departments being passed out. So if you want to simply fetch your data from that, you will be filtering this year, this department, the student with a high score. So this remarks. So you're filtering, giving the conditions same way. So like that will be working. Like if you want to convert your number into decimals, like your text into the string. So certain conversions, we are just going to do that. So those parts. Then certain aggregate functions. Aggregate functions is like your sum, average, all those things and all will comes under. In that, how we are going to use it in a group functions. You want to group it. Like if you're fetching the details from based on the department as one group, or batch you are getting batch as the another group, and you want to set it in the order by classes. So like the different classes we will be using, where group by order by classes and all will be using. So those parts. And the joins, like instead of only working with a single table, so multiple tables. Like as we know in like many organizations, even we have discussed this college example. So we have multiple departments, like different batches will not store all data in a single table. It will be in a multi tables, right? So have to join those tables and we have to fetch those data. So in that case, how this joins will helpful. So like the different types of keys we will be performing, and with that how we are going to join your table. So these parts will be working. Then subqueries. So subqueries is like it's a kind of the complex situations, like query within a query. So we have to get the result of one query and put that as an input to the another query. So how we are going to use that as a subqueries. So those parts. Then set operators, as we know, like union or intersections or union also, that set operators. So those parts. Then managing your tables. So like insert, delete, update, how we are going to do that, all DML statements, select or the transact, all those things, all DDL, DML. Then the data dictionary views. So these parts normally are data dictionary views when it comes to as like how your data, like as a metadata, all those things and all we will be discussing. Then creating the sequence, synonyms, indexes, all those things, this part we will be discussing here. 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sorry. Right then. So the sequence, synonyms, index and all we will be discussing. And then creating the views. So the views is nothing but it is a virtual table. So every time the data, we are trying to fetch it through the UI only. Like as we know, like multiple applications, even the web applications, mobile applications we are using. So like we are selecting, right, as like you're submitting the forms, you're filling the forms. So after filling, you're going to submit it. Then after filling a form, if you click search, it will fetch certain details of it. So where it will actually getting it. So from the database, where it will stores into a database. That is unforeseen for us. As a viewer, we are not able to see that, right? It is in a backend, your database. So every time, like you just think, imagine if it is a application, like mobile application, a millions of users using at the same time. Right. So if millions of users want to perform something in that applications, every that million request will go to the same database. So how your database going to withstand? That is under different cases, right? So like certain customers, like the same thing, they are going to perform it. That means same data, they are going to focus on it. So that cases, so every time for every request, instead of going into the original table, put that into a virtual table as like a cache. So it's going to get that. Like the virtual table, it need not to be a single table, can be the multiple table combination, like one two columns from this one table, then from the second table few columns we can take, like that can merge and keep it as a virtual table. Like as we know the ATM machine, so the ATM machines we are using it, right? So like think of your bank having a multiple the tables, like for the customer details they'll put it in the one table, and then the loans and all they'll be putting into the another table. Even we are the customers getting the credit card, debit card, all those things, these many things been there. As a customer, I want to put my card into the ATM, I want to withdraw the cash. So there and all, I don't want to view multiple things there. I just want to view, like if the account number is being displaying to the deposit only. To withdraw, nothing needed. I just put my card, I will put my PIN number, then what is the amount I want to take, then that alone it is been fine. That means that much visibility they'll be given. So in between, that means that can be put it into one virtual table. Like the customer ID, what is the customer's account number, what is the PIN number aligned with that. Then the deposits, I mean the balances, account balances. So only this is thing. If this has been there, this will be updated automatically. So if the customer takes through this card, the card details also has the one column. So now you consider customer ID is taken from the customer table. Account number is taken from the account table. Card details, your ATM card details is being taken from your card table, and the balance is also taken from the account table. Now you could see three tables, so the few columns is being taken and put it into one table. So as the customer, I don't want to deep into, like to withdraw the cash, so no need of these multiple tables every time. Like you want to check with the account table, customer table, and the card table, no. Just put these columns into a separate table as a virtual table. So every time customer using the ATM, so only this virtual table can be accessed to it. So to make it simple. So that's what. So creating the views here. So how we are going to create the views, how where it has been applying. Then the schemas. So the schema objects, it's like if you could see, the schema is nothing but in certain cases, like the objects, how we are going to use it, like the variables we are using it, right? The same way. So the schemas, data schema, like how the structure it's going to be used, all those parts. Then how we are retrieving the data by using the subqueries. Obviously, subqueries as we see, query within a query. So within that, how we are going to retrieve your data, how we are going to manipulate. Manipulate is nothing but certain actions like conversions or some changes if you are going to perform. So those things, how we are going to be performing it. Then the user access, how to control. Like if we are not allowing every users to access your databases, only with the privileges, permissions, they can access to it. So that how we are controlling the user access. Same, the ATM example, if you are considering, we have that login with our PIN number, but only certain extent we able to access it, right? So with your ATM card, you cannot get your account number. You're not typing your account number. You're not fetching your account number. Right. So only that access. Even your details only you're able to access it, not the other details in the table. No. From the table, only one record of yours, only one customer record you're accessing. So that controlling access, user access. So those parts. Then manipulating your data using advanced queries. Like advanced queries is like, so in high level, complex level, how we are going to use the queries. So as usual, manipulating is nothing but all the different actions like insert, delete, all those things and all the different conversions, all those things. Then the different time zones. So those pre-built time zones been there. So that how we are going to be use it. Like from the database, how we are going to be fetch those things. This is the one first basic course in your database if you are considering. Then another one is like the PL SQL. I hope this has been understandable. Hmm. Yeah. Um, okay. Just give me 1 minute. You're okay with this? Or you want to go beyond that also? What is your expectation here?
No, ma'am, this is basic is
Mm-hmm.
completed. Ma'am,
So
in
this,
basic, these are the things included in that.
sorry?
In basic, these are the things we
Mm-hmm.
will study.
Okay. So that means,
Hello.
yeah, I'm just sharing my screen. One more thing for the
Yes.
PL SQL. This is for PL SQL. After, since you know the SQL, the next step is actually the PL SQL, like the procedural languages. So, like when you start with the procedural languages, like what are the different types of variables we are going to use it, how to declare all those things. It's like, like you have an idea of PL SQL. Nidhi, do you have an idea of PL SQL?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. So since you know the SQL is a single statement, right? We cannot execute as like a C programming or Java programming. It's like a single line query as a single statement only we need to execute it in a SQL, right? So to overcome that in the procedural language, so like the same query also we have to do multiple times. Since like insert statement insert statement, right? Or in a single insert statement, you want to give 100 records into it. So how this could be possible? So to overcome that, so we have the PL SQL. Like we can do this, like we can schedule like kind of in procedures. So if you give this query, if this condition satisfied, this will be executed. So like that, this could be happen. So the procedural languages like the variables we could discuss, and then we'll discuss about the SQL statements how we are going to be created, and in that we have are applying with the control structures, then different composite data types. In that, few things like the cursors, triggers, functions, procedures, these parts being there. So first, how we are working with the cursor is like as like a as a one working area, stage area. So how we are using this cursor to apply in your procedural language. Procedural language is nothing but think about in your C programming or your Java programming how the functions has been there. So inside the function you are putting something, so whenever you wanted you are calling that functions. So same like that. So repeatedly you're going to call that. The same like that we are creating the procedures, functions, cursors, triggers and all. So whenever we wanted, we are going to use that. So in simple, that I gave you the idea. So like in that, how we are going to use the cursors, exceptions, procedures, how we are going to create the procedures, all those things, functions, subprograms, and even the packages, So these parts and the Oracle supplied packages, what are the pre-built packages has been there that could be helpful for the application development and the dynamic SQL. So the main part here is procedures, functions, cursors, triggers. So by using this, how we are going to work with your SQL commands in simple. So this is of main thing. After the SQL you knows, then next step is like the PL SQL. You got the idea here?
Yes, ma'am. Second one.
Okay. This is one thing. Then after PL SQL, let me show you one document that would be helpful for you. Able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you could see, this is the first course, SQL workshop that I have shown you. After this SQL workshop, then if you are considering the query part means, so we have discussed about the PL SQL. So the PL SQL workshop, this is the second one. Then after PL SQL, we have the advanced PL SQL. So this has been comes under these three courses comes under the query part. Like the query part, how we are working. Then next, if you comes to like in a database side itself, so one is administration. This administration workshop. It's like the database administration. So the first three courses, SQL workshop, PL SQL, advanced PL SQL is in a query side. Everything in a query side as a development side. Okay, so the query side only. If you comes to administration, database administration means this is the first thing. Administration workshop course. After your administration, how you are performing the backup and recovery. This is the second thing when you comes to the admin side. So, like even for the admin side, what are the fundamentals for developments and system admin? This is also one thing. Like this will give you the flow, like fundamentals for development, developers and the system admin, then your administration workshop, then backup and recovery. This is gives you one some flow. Then really into your Oracle database, you're already working into it. So what are the new features for the administrators part in the Oracle database? That is the next thing. Then related to the data, everything related to the data like data confidentiality, data encryption, and data mining, data warehousing concepts, techniques. So this thing, everything related to the datas. Right. And even in your data, so how we are going to monitor and maintain your secure environment. So these parts will come as like a one areas. So now this is your call. You're going with the developer part, your admin part or data part specifically. So this you can choose it accordingly. Then even in the SQL also, how we are going to be tune it and how the performance, how we are going to enhance it. So these parts is exactly the last part, right? So your call, like you're going work with the developer part as like the query things you're going to take it, or the admin part you're going to take it, or else after the developer admin, that is another area. The next thing is